The Bible is still the number one book to ever exist. Now, how is it possible that a nearly 3,000-year-old outdated book is still growing in sales in 2024? The Wall Street Journal and Circana Bookscan indicated a 22% growth of sales over the course of the year and a 5% growth of total US print sales. Now, that is about a quarter of the contributions to the total growth. Now, you might be asking, why are people still buying the Bible today? It's possible that Bibles are growing in sales because people just want to buy a new one, mainly because of its new designs, and over the years there are new translations and they're just more intriguing to have. I guess people like to collect them maybe too. I mean, just look at the Bibles compared from the 90s to the 2020s. Another possible factor is that people are experiencing more anxiety nowadays than they did before. The American Psychiatric Association reported that 43% of Americans are experiencing anxiety nowadays, whereas in 2023 it was at 37%, and in 2022 it was at 32%. Now, the contributions to those reported anxieties are caused by a number of things. The top three things being: number one, the US economy, which was at a 77% contribution. Next, it was the 2024 US elections, which was at a 73% contribution. And third, gun violence, which was at 69%. With the help of social media and influencers, young people are actually being attracted to the gospel as they seek for answers to life's challenges.
And now at 28 years old, I've been finding myself having this deeper craving for really understanding what it means to walk with God. And I think that definitely starts with reading and studying the Bible.
The Bible calls Jesus the Prince of Peace, and engaging with the Bible allows us to have communion with God as He comforts us and provides us with peace through our personal struggles. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what the Bible is, basically it's a collection of books, 66 of them, written by 40 authors over a span of 1,500 years. In short, the Bible is broken down into two sections, the first one being the Old Testament and the second one being the New Testament. The Old Testament basically talks about the beginning of creation and how the Israelite people came to be, whereas the New Testament talks about the life of Jesus and how God redeems His people through Him. Though some argue the validity of the Bible because of human contribution, I think it's reasonable to think that as humans we are imperfect and therefore we will make mistakes. And so just having human hands in the process leads people to think that there are errors in this divinely inspired book. Though there are many good reasons to believe the validity of the Bible, there are also many good ones. My personal favorite is the cross-referencing that is happening. As you can see in this chart, there are many different references happening from each book. And it's pretty impressive to think that 40 different authors over a span of 1,500 years were able to cross-reference from each other and tell a story, a cohesive story about the life of Jesus and God. It's difficult to deny the fact that a divine creator had his hands on the process of compiling the Bible. The fact that many different unique authors from different places, from different times, were able to write and contribute to a story that is cohesive. Ultimately, the Bible triumphs the limitations of time. And the Bible describes itself as the Word of God, and the Word is also Jesus. Engaging with the Bible is a supernatural experience. It affects our lives. It's transformative. It does something in you that starts to transform you from the inside out. In fact, research shows that engaging with the Bible attributes to a 30% drop in feeling lonely, a 32% drop in anger issues, a 40% drop in bitterness in relationships, a 57% drop in alcoholism, and so much more. So what? Bible sales are increasing, but what about the downward trend of Christianity, specifically in America? Because Christianity was so much more popular back in the day, people were just more likely to associate themselves as Christian, maybe because they grew up in a Christian household, they took on the faith for themselves, and then over time, maybe just left it behind, sought out another religion, or what have you. Calling yourself Christian doesn't necessarily mean anything if your actions don't reflect the character of God. In fact, less Americans are calling themselves Christian as we progress towards a more secular society. Though that might be bad news for some of you, I actually think there is an opportunity in that. With the downward trend and Bible sales growing in America, there's still opportunity for people to reach others with the gospel in a more grassroots effort. I think of it kind of like how when Jesus walked this earth, he had 12 apostles with him. He spent intentional time with them. And I think in that way, people are much more willing to adopt Christianity and believe in Jesus when they interact with people who have the character of God in their life. People these days are much more attracted to things that are real and authentic, less produced, and just more relatable. I mean, just take a look at social media and marketing today.
Muscle tension. I know I did too, and that's why I love using my oils by Sage.
Okay, watch this. It is amazing. You take a picture of the flyer that your kids bring home from school, and then you just send it to your calendar.
Now, if you're still wondering what the purpose of this video is and what my point is, I wanted you to know that there is hope that you can still reach people with the gospel and that people are still coming to faith in Jesus. At the end of the day, people are looking for meaning. They're looking for answers. They're answers to their purpose and understanding for their life, and they want to know the truth. Maybe not everybody, but some people. And us believers, we know that all of that lives in here.